Down with the overseers.
They just let him die!
It's too good for those fuckers. Let's skin them alive.
Yo, bro! Over here! Over here! I need to get to that ledge there! Can you help a brother out? Thanks, bro! Hey, I hope you make it out too!
There's hope for you yet, T.
You saw the devil. He's close. Don't let him get you.
Druid Hill and I saw you in that old broken gazebo. You were so good looking. I thought you were all mature. How old did you think I was? I felt so young with you. All my girlfriends were so jealous. We were so good together. For a while. Even when I left, I still loved you, T. I thought about you every day. I still do. Don't you wish we could go back to that gazebo? It was all so perfect. But sometimes, I think you only brought me suffering.
see the show. My performance on you, as it were, will be something I shall thoroughly enjoy. And I trust, so shall you. I am not certain we have been formally introduced. Talk, isn't it? My name is Killjoy, Dr. Killjoy, and I will be your alienist this fine evening. Welcome to the Carnate Institution for the tragically troubled, the impossibly insane, and the diabolically disturbed. Are you seeking society? Are you looking for the answer? Well, rest assured, you have come to the right place. Sometimes it needs a little jolt to behave.
Inmate, hold it right there! It is only joke! How you get here? You're not supposed to leave heaven. Will they tell you anything? Come in, please. You come in. Yes, come in. I not lock you up. Name is Sergey. Oh, wait. Are you really there? Or maybe I am dreaming again. No? No, you real, nah?
He's a filthy immigrant.
So friendly.
He's a disgusting addict.
Whittaker, Kennedy, Scott, they all went out. Try to find out what is happening. Me, I say why. I hear the sounds. Boom, crash, ah! I've seen some things through the doorway there. Things I don't want to see again. Understand? I stay right here. We're safe. And I have Pipe to keep me company.
He can help you find what you need.
Blow his head off.
My only sadness is my stereo. Power go off. It don't work now, you see? If I could just enjoy a few more spins of my music, I'd be a happy man. Strange story about this place. It was a crazy house. Place where...
And so, my favorite subject arrives. It is in this room that all the secrets will be revealed. I will employ an experimental device that helps me chart the undiscovered country. But you can't come to the show yet. First, you must prove to me that you truly want to be cured, and that you truly are worthy of my time. See you soon, I hope. You'll have to forgive the mess. It's so hard to keep this place tidy when there is so much work to be done. And it is impossible to find decent help. It is the work that I do that makes me worthy of their attention, of their gazing eyes, that makes me a star of unprecedented proportions. My neighbors show... How does it go? Oh, yes. Canst thou minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow. Raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet oblivious antidote. Nowhere do the stars shine as brightly as they do on Carnate Island, on this very stage where it is my pleasure to introduce to you the world of your own mind. Given a dark enough environment, this projector, this wonder of modern science, allows me to appear here before you today. No more shall my talents be confined to the time in which I display them, but instead I am able to perform again and again. As challenging as yours, I need all the time I can get. Monsters walk amongst us, Talk. Don't you grasp the implications? It's a brave new world. Of course, such creatures are nothing new to you, are they? Severe dementia, is it? Or perhaps chronic melancholia? Or is it an uncontrollable urge to regress back to a form unseen in modern society? One that will allow you to set matters right in the most direct way possible? Yes, I think that's it. When all else fails, go for the easy way out. The obvious answer. The brute force solution. Ever ever wonder why you're so furious, Toke? What happens then when your world goes black? Do you ever see a...
When Ernesto took his job at Abbott, I was far from excited. When he told me we would need to move to Carnate Island as well, I was not happy at all. But I tried to find a good side to the situation. I've always been interested in the history of unique places. What kind of history would we find on Carnate? This scrapbook project was started primarily to fill my time here, but also so I could record what I had discovered. In my exploration of the island, I uncovered many of Carnate's secrets. Though I record them here, I do not think I will tell the world about what I have found. Carnate is a place whose secrets are best kept to itself. The island. Carnate Island is approximately 3 miles wide and lies some 10 miles off the coast of Maryland. In addition to man-made structures, Carnate is also home to a labyrinthine natural cave system, unlike anything I have seen before. Through my studies, I learned of the island's dark and unsettling history. Though it may sound ridiculous to say it, Carnate seems to bring out the worst in those who make the mistake of coming here. Abbott State Penitentiary. Originally built as part of Fort Malison to house German POWs during World War II, it was taken over by Maryland following the war and converted into Abbott State Penitentiary. Mostly built out of local quarry rock, the prison is now home to nearly 1,000 inmates and has the worst safety record and highest homicide rate of any prison in the Maryland Department of Corrections system. The state also carries out the majority of its death sentences here. The Death House. The most ominous structure inside of Abbott is the Death House. Electrocution, gas, and lethal injection have all been used within its walls, though only the last is still used today. The death house is also the prison's oldest structure, built as the administration building when the prison was a POW camp. Its basement was also built during the war, and in it you can still see relics of that time. The basement has been closed off for 20 years. The death prison cemetery. When an inmate dies and his family does not claim the body, he is buried here. The cemetery is named after the infamous corrections officer Hermes T. Haight. He was in charge of executions for several decades before finally killing himself in the gas chamber. Also buried here is notorious inmate Horace Gage, who savagely killed his wife on a conjugal visit. To me, the cemetery is the most bleak and depressing place on all of Carnate. The quarry. At the same time the prison started operation, digging commenced at Carnate Quarry. Prisoners were forced to work this quarry for 12 hours a day, cutting the rock that would be used to build the prison walls. Work conditions in the quarry were far from ideal. Inmates who complained were severely disciplined. Carnate Quarry has not been in use since the 1960s, with its mining equipment simply abandoned where it stood to rust and collapse. The Asylum. On the far western edge of Carnate stands an old Victorian home built in 1877. In 1899, the home was converted into the oddly titled Carnate Institution for the Alienated. This small institution was run by one Dr. Killjoy, whose methods were far from conventional and often tragically lethal. What exactly happened to Dr. Killjoy is unknown, but the asylum was abandoned in the 1930s and has been uninhabited ever since.
Contained in these pages are my observations of the bizarre creatures that have appeared on Carnate Island since the cataclysm struck. The creatures emerge in a variety of ways, but many of them appear to come from within the island itself, as if the very earth of Carnate were poisonous and vile. Though I scarcely have time to keep a journal like this while trying to keep myself alive, my inquisitive nature forces me to write down what I see, in the hope that I might better understand it. But how can this unspeakable horror possibly be understood? It is as if Carnate's horrific sins, both past and present, are being brought to life in a pageant of death. Slayer. I first witnessed these creatures jumping out of the ground itself. Their heads were detached from their torsos, held aloft by hideous contraptions. Their limbs have been replaced by blades of the sharpest steel. To my eyes, they appear to be a manifestation of decapitation. Yet it seems improbable anyone ever had their head chopped off in Abbott. I suppose on Carnate anything is possible. I have dubbed these monstrosities Slayers. Marksman. Based on the battery of rifles attached to its back and the blindfold around its head, this marksman appears to be the reincarnation of a military firing squad. Abbott was originally a POW camp during World War II, so it seems likely they would have had executions of that sort. Indeed, there are stories of a rogue colonel who was to be court-martialed but instead took his own life. Perhaps he is connected to these abominations. Mainliner. In the 1970s, lethal injection was introduced as the most humane means of state-sanctioned killing. To date, 25 such procedures have taken place in Abbott. This creature, I call him the Mainliner, appears to suffer with every move he makes. Perhaps the mixture of sodium pentothal, pancuronium bromide, and potassium chloride in his veins is not to his liking. The numerous needles jabbed into his body cannot help his disposition. Noose Man. Not only is this noose man dead from being hung by the neck, but he also appears to have had his skin removed. I wonder if these creatures are tied to the legendary story of the inmates, who, outraged by the death of fellow workers in a quarry mining accident, hung and skinned 5 COs. The noose men are more supernatural than many of their brethren, ripping themselves straight out of the ceiling in some entirely impossible manner. Burrower. These burrowers are some of the most lethal creatures I have encountered, primarily due to their ability to spring forth from the ground itself and just as quickly resubmerge. They're closely tied to the very soil of Carnate, a theme among these monstrosities. Its appearance is of a human body tied up in a gunny sack and constrained by leather straps, with deadly steel chains attached to various locations. I believe they represent those buried alive.